Hey guys, it's Katie, and I'm here today to do the Wizarding World About Me tag. I wasn't tagged by anybody, but I saw a bunch of people doing this tag, and I got really excited, and so I'm just like, guys, I gotta do this tag. So I'm doing it, and here we are. And this tag was created by Shelby at Read and Find Out, and I will link her channel below. You should go check her out. And without further ado, let's get into the questions. Number 1. So, you've received your Hogwarts letter and you're off to go shopping at Diagon Alley. Tell us about your wand. So, it's been a while since I was on Pottermore. An acacia wood wand. It has a unicorn hair core, and it's 10 3/4 inches in length, and it's quite bendy flexibility. So just reading more about my wand, just to give you some background, acacia it's a very unusual wand wood, which I have found creates tricky wands that often refuse to produce magic for any but their owner, and also withhold their best effects from all but the most gifted. The sensitivity renders them difficult to place, and I keep only a small stock for those witches and wizards of sufficient subtlety. For acacia is not suited to what is commonly known as bangs and smells magic. When well matched, an acacia wand matches any for power, though it is often underrated due to the peculiarity of its temperament. That's kind of hilarious because, and it also kind of fits me. Let's talk about the unicorn core. Unicorn hair generally produces the most consistent magic and is least subject to fluctuations and blockages. Wands with unicorn cores are generally the most difficult to turn into dark arts. Interesting. They are the most faithful of all wands and usually remain strongly attached to their first owner, irrespective of whether he or she was an accomplished witch or wizard. Minor disadvantages of unicorn hair are that they do not make the most powerful wands, although the wand wood may compensate, and they are prone to melancholy if seriously mishandled, meaning that the hair may die and need replacing. So that's kind of ironic, kind of are polar opposites, and I just find that really funny. Now, in the 10 3/4 inch length, as I'm pretty sure the blurbs say for most of the wands, it says most wands will be in the range of between 9 and 14 inches. Well, I've sold extremely short wands, 8 inches and under, and very long wands, over 15 inches. These are exceptionally rare. In the latter case, a physical peculiarity demanded that excessive wand length. However, abnormally short wands usually select those in whose character something is lacking, rather than because they are physically undersized. Many small wizards and witches are chosen by longer wands. Mine just kind of falls right dead smack in the middle, so I guess that makes me a normal witch. And when it says the quite bendy flexibility, this is what the blurb says. Wand flexibility or rigidity denotes the degree of adaptability and willingness to change possessed by the wand and owner pair. Although again, this factor ought not to be considered separately from the wand wood, core, and length, nor of the owner's life experience and style of magic, all of which will combine to make a wand in question unique. So yeah, that's all about my wand. Question 2. Do you bring a pet with you to Hogwarts? If so, what? Well, let's walk through this. I would definitely bring a pet with me to Hogwarts. The question is, what? I probably wouldn't bring a toad. That's just not my thing. Between either a cat or an owl. Owls are incredibly practical because that's how they get their mail, and they're really useful for delivering and receiving packages and just being companions. But cats are really cuddly sometimes and just generally good to have around. So I don't know. Number 3. You've arrived at Hogwarts, or in my case, Ilvermorny. Which houses do you belong to? both Hogwarts and Ilvermorny. So my Hogwarts house is, if you've already seen my previous video about my Hogwarts house journey, depending on what camp I fall into, I'd either be a Hufflepuff or a Ravenclaw. If we're going solely based on personality traits, I'd for 100% be in Hufflepuff. But if we're going off of what you value and what you admire, I'd fall into Ravenclaw. So I'm a hybrid like many people, but since I tend to fall into the values and admirations category, I'd probably say I'm a Ravenclaw. As for Ilvermorny, according to the site, this specific account, because I have a couple of accounts, I am a horned serpent, which represents the mind, but I don't know. I'm gonna go with what I've got on this account and say I'm a horned serpent, and we'll just go with that. Number 4, do you try out for your house Quidditch team? If so, for what position? Well, I like Quidditch, and I would probably go to every single game and root for my house. Whether I would actually play or not is questionable. If I did, I'd probably be a keeper. I'm also incredibly clumsy, and I am a walking disaster sometimes, especially when it comes to sports things. So if you don't want to have someone be super inconsistent, you probably wouldn't want me on your team. So probably not. Number 5, third year rolls around and it's time to enroll in electives. Pick at least 2. The options are Ancient Runes, Arithmancy, Care of Magical Creatures, Divination, and Muggle Studies. Well, I can definitely tell you I would not take Muggle Studies or Arithmancy. Just based off the little that we know about them in the books, based on what Hermione said about them, they just don't sound super interesting to me. Divination is the one that's very question marky for me. It could be really interesting, but I'd probably want to take it with Fidenz instead of with Professor Trelawney. It's up in the air for me for that, but I would absolutely 100% love to take Ancient Runes, and I'd also be really interested in taking Care of Magical Creatures, regardless of Hagrid's teaching skills. I don't care. I just probably would love it. So yeah, my 2 options would probably be Ancient Runes and Care of Magical Creatures. Number 6. Some time passes. Now you've taken your owls and it's time to start year 6. Which classes do you continue to study for the Newts? Your options include the electives you selected in the previous question and the core Hogwarts classes, which are Astronomy, Charms, Defense Against the Dark Arts, Herbology, History of Magic, Potions, and Transfiguration. This is so hard for me to pick. So I definitely keep Ancient Runes and Care of Magical Creatures, without a doubt. I would also probably pick up Astronomy. I've just always been fascinated with astronomy, and even though I'm horrible at math, I think it could be fun. Charms might be useful. I just have always liked the idea of charms, so I don't know about that. Defense Against the Dark Arts would be really practical and probably a really good idea to take, so I probably would add that and take that. Herbology, I kind of like it, but I don't know if I would go with it. History of Magic, sorry, I'm like the weird nerd here. I would love History of Magic. It'd be really great to encompass History of Magic along with Ancient Runes. I just think that could be really, really cool. So for sure, History of Magic. Potions could be really good. If I wanted to go into like a medical field or something, that could be really useful. And you just never know when you're going to need some kind of potion, so I might pick that up. I don't know. Transfiguration is really interesting as well, but I don't know. So I mean, it depends on how I like all of them when I were when I were actually taking them, but I'd for sure take Ancient Runes, Care of Magical Creatures, History of Magic, and probably Defense Against the Dark Arts. Those are probably the 4 that I'd for sure take. And last, number 7. It's time to leave Hogwarts and make your way into the wider wizarding world. What do you do from here? So, currently I'm in law school, but I don't know if I'd want to be part of the legal or governmental positions in the wizarding world. It's just quite a bit rigorous and chaotic. If they had something like translation work with languages, I'd probably be all over that. I'm also really interested in potentially being a healer. I don't know. For sure, if they offered something to do with translation or history or archaeology or some form of something like that, I'd probably do that. So yeah, those are all the questions, and I'm gonna tag, let's see, Kelsey from Hardback Haven, May from May Reads, Lisa from Lisa's West Coast Reads, and anyone else who wants to do it, who hasn't already done it, because it's a really fun tag, and if you love Harry Potter, this is just a really cool tag. So yeah, as always, feel free to like, subscribe, comment, follow me on social media. I have a Twitter and a Goodreads, which are both linked below, and I will come back with another video for you guys again soon. Okay, bye!